Yo, Cincinnati Ty,
Randall Pink.
and we're here with.
Raivon Don'tez, kill that packaging, king of the mosh pit, all that good stuff. We're gonna get to know me a little bit more.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes. So let's start off with tell us where you're from.
So I'm from the 513, Cincinnati, Ohio, born and raised. I've been here basically my entire life. And it has a good music scene, and I think it's underrated, but you can look into it a little bit more.
Well said on that, on the underrated thing. I think there's a lot of great talent, kind of like yourself, that goes underappreciated of as far as like under the radar. I think the light needs to definitely be shined on Cincy and all the artists. So well said on that.
In reference to your music, what genre would you put that under?
So I would put mine under alternative because I blend punk rock, metal, and hip hop all together. So I think, and I I may be speaking for myself here, but as far as I can see, I think I'm like one of the few that do that in the city, like being an alternative rap artist and being so alternative that it kind of puts me on like that type of like we don't know whether to put him in hip hop or
Yeah.
whether to put him in alternative because it's like with me I could work both ways.
Yeah.
So I think when it comes to my music, that's the beauty of it because it's like you don't know what you're gonna get, especially when it comes to my demeanor. So it's just like I could be at a show and you don't even know I'm gonna perform, but when I perform, it's just like we didn't know he was like that. Like we didn't know he headbangs. We didn't know he stumps the air, jumps around, and screams and all that. So I think that's the beauty when it comes to my genre of being alternative because it's going against the grain of like hip hop, especially in a trap heavy city that Cincinnati is. I think it's kind of my sound is kind of refreshing a little bit.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. I tapped in with some of your songs and stuff like that, and it seemed very well diverse. And I wasn't sure where to put you on the genre chart, whether it be alternative, the punk rock. Um, and that's cool that you can bring that out and show everybody your skills and your talent being well diverse.
Yeah, being that you got that unorthodox about you, like what artists would you say you look to in reference to music?
So the artists that like were some of my biggest inspirations have always been Nicki Minaj, Eminem, Rico Nasty, Busta Rhymes, Scarlord, and who? Oh, Tyler the Creator also. Cause I look to artists who, when you think of them, it's always something that they always do something out of the box. Like they always keep you guessing, like what they're gonna do next. Like, and it's always that type of artist that is them. You don't think of when you think of Tyler, you don't think of well Tyler's like so and so, or when you think of Nicki, it's not like well Nicki's like so and so. They are so you know themselves that they kind of created their own lane that that they are their own person. And I feel like when it comes to me, that's why I look to them because that's what I'm doing with my art.
Yeah. I see, like when you said Busta Rhymes, that look you got today is like the Janet Jackson Busta Rhymes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Vibe type.
Like Busta Rhymes, like I gotta thank my dad for that though because growing up he used to play like Busta, Tupac, Biggie, like all like the lyricists and like storytellers, and that's why I always say I respect storytellers and lyricists the most because that's an art that I think in rap is not utilized as it used to be. You have artists that could still paint a picture, but it's not like artists like Nas that you are getting the full like picture in your head as he's rapping, or Buster who is just giving you lyric after lyric and punchline and so much personality in his lyrics. Because I feel like when you rap, when you perform, you have to have personality when you're doing it, or else the listener is gonna check out because it's like they're feeling like they're being sold something versus it's just like, wow, we get this artist and I see myself in them because they have that personality that I can latch on to, and I feel like that's what I bring.
Yeah. Like you're talking to them.
Hmm.
Yeah. 100% on that. So going back, you said something about your father as far as what kind of music he was listening to that got you. Now, is that what got you into performing and doing your thing?
So that didn't quite get me into performing. I didn't really get into wanting to do music until a little bit after high school. So I went to the School of Arts, like during my junior and senior year. And during my senior year, I actually was start writing raps because beforehand I was writing poetry growing up, as a emotional outlet. And when I started writing raps, I kept up with it. So when I got into college, I never let go of it. But when I was going to college, I'm just like, I don't want to do this. Like, remember, I was in my psych class, and thank goodness for my psych teacher. Because sometimes you need that teacher to be real with you and just be like, if this isn't what you want, just go. And I remember her saying, look, if you don't see you doing this for the rest of your life, please, I implore you, search for something else. And I was listening to them just like, yeah, I can't be in a cubicle for the rest of my life listening to somebody like else problems. Like, no, this ain't for me. Like, I'm not Steve Carell in the office. Like, I can't do it. Like, so I remember I told my mom, I was just like, yeah, I don't think college is for me. And she was just like, okay. And then I told my stepdad, who is a former artist, like he used to do music back in the day. And he told me like, okay, so if you want to do music, show me you're serious. Go find a recording studio to record in. And I took him up on that. So that week, I was searching up recording studios, and I found Timeless. Shout out to Timeless Recording Studios.
Shout out Timeless.
I found them, and I've been recording with them ever since. Like, the first song I did with them was a song called Van Surfing. It's a SoundCloud exclusive. You gotta search for that. It's not on Spotify. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's a cringy one because I look back and I was just like, oh my God, you're such a baby. You don't know. You don't know. But I recorded that song, and then I want to say that same year, I started on an EP. Now, what I will say about this, if I could change it, I would not have did an EP starting out the gates. I would have told myself, wait. But I was, when you're starting something, you're just like, well, I'm hot stuff. I got this. I know what. Okay, I got no. But so the first EP that I did started like my whole series of my Wanna Play series, and I started with Wanna Play Volume 1, which was, you can tell, like, okay, he's getting his feet wet, but it's still amateur. And then Volume 2, I put out while the pandemic was happening. Miss Corona, I hate you. I hate you. In the parking lot, 30 seconds. But I created that EP, and that EP, you can tell, like, I'm finding my footing. Like, that's the EP that really transformed me into the alternative artist. Because beforehand, I just wanted to rap. I didn't know what lane or what category or what genre I was in. I just categorized myself as a rapper at that point. But when I did Volume 2, that's when I came out with KOTM, which is King of the Mosh Pit, which is my whole branding. So that kind of blew up a little bit because that was the first song that I ever had that went up to 14,000 streams on Spotify. And when that happened, okay, I was just like, well, okay, I got something here. Let me dig into it. So that went on for a whole year of me just promoting it, me just doing promo, performance after. And I can't say I'm thankful for that EP because that one is the one that really forced me to be a performer at that point. Because beforehand, I wasn't really stage savvy. It was just like, if I got on stage, it was just like, okay, yeah, rapping my stuff here. Hi, no. Beforehand, like, if y'all saw Raivon in 2018, 2019, y'all would have been like, get off the stage. Like, get terrible. Out. But I will say it was a real learning experience from that EP versus the now. When it comes to Wanna Play Volume 3, Let the Games Begin, it's just like you can see and hear like, oh, he's more than comfortable in his artistry. He's more than comfortable in his craft. He knows who he is. And I can't say this was the EP that kind of led me to expand more onto my artistry, introduce the listeners to my alter ego, Killer Doll, which I say Killer Doll is kind of, he was shipped from London, right? But he lost his accent. And I always tell people, when you see the red eye activated, that's when like Killer Dolls activated. And I always kind of wanted to do that because I don't see a lot of people do, especially on the guy side. Like you see the women do alter egos, like Meg Thee Stallion, Nicki, everybody else do alter egos. But on the guy side, it's just like you can only name a few, but I don't see a lot of people digging into that. So I always wanted to dig into that, and I always think it's a fun experience because it's like a other side to you that people don't really see. So yeah, I can't say that's the EP that really has become my favorite so far, and it's only been a month since its release, and it's already gained so much traction, and I'm proud of it, and I'm so happy with that. Also want to shout out your girlfriend's favorite engineer, Chris Turner at Timeless, because he worked his magic on there. When I tell you, you ever have an engineer that you work with, and you just like, we here, we here, like the entire time, like he was telling me like, come up with like an evil laugh or something. So I have an evil laugh every time I do. Like when you hear it, every start of the song is like my evil laughs kind of become my little trademark. But he's the one that kind of forced me to become like the Raivon Don'tez that you see today. And I really want to give props to him and props to engineers in general because they be the unsung heroes sometimes.
Yeah.
Like they be the ones that be listening to you in the studio, be like, we like it, but I don't think that.
We're gonna need a little bit more.
Yeah.
Come on out.
Yeah. And I feel like engineers really can help you like become like the best artist you can be. And I really have become like accustomed to like force myself to like go harder in everything that I do, whether that be performing, recording, media. But I always force myself to go harder, and I'm glad that he was one of the people that kind of become what's the word I'm looking for? A part
Collaborating with
you.
Yeah. A collaborator.
Yeah. And that kind of step towards me being the best artist that I can be, and I will be forever thankful for that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Listening to your story, just to piggyback off of that, it seems like you're pretty good at accepting criticism. You know, because it takes a lot from an artist to go back and be like, hey, this project wasn't this for y'all, but I kept doing this so it can be what it is today in reference to me. So I'll give you a round of applause for that because that's hard. Like you don't hear a lot of artists come in and be like, oh, my last EP was, you know, not trash, but it wasn't this.
It was a working experience.
Yeah, so that's a plus. I think that'll take you a long way too in business. Being able to be a great critic of your own music, you know, and be able to hear somebody else and be able to take the criticism of somebody saying, hey, that's not it. Let's do it like this. Like, you know what I mean?
And I really have to thank my circle for that because I have people around me that will always be real with me and tell me like what I need to hear. I want to thank my best friends. My sisters from another Mr. Jasmine, Isabella. Jasmine, congratulations on your engagement, love. Thank you for being real with me. That one time, like telling me that outfit for that show was not it. Thank you, Isabella, for telling me like that song. Try that beat, but do not. No, that is not it. Like I want to thank like my inner circle for that because sometimes you don't need a big circle. Like you just need those two wild guys.
The realist,
right? And it's just like they was. I'm giving my besties little props here because they was with me like when I was doing performances in Cowain when you go down the neighborhood you lock the door and the window up and ride road low type of neighborhood. Like they was with me when I was performing there. Like they was with me when I had mohawk. Yes, I'm bald now. Touch the skin, touch the other skin. You just can't take it. But they was with me when I was like amateur hour. Like when I always told them this, when I make it up there, I'ma always hold y'all down because y'all was with me when I was down and out, when no one was paying attention, when the following was looking low, when no one's engaging. Like y'all was there from the get-go. So I love y'all besties.
Shout out to the inner circle there for sure.
Nah, for sure. Going back a little bit, you spoke about one of your friends saying something about your outfit in reference to creators. Like, where did this style come from?
So we're gonna get a little bit emotional here, just a tad bit. So in 2020, when the whole like world shut down, I had a realization of looking myself in the mirror because for a long time unknowingly, I was kind of struggling with body dysmorphia a little bit. So I didn't like myself at all. And my friend looked at me and she's like, "You about to go through a change, aren't you?" And I can feel it. And I was just, I didn't know at the time. I didn't know what was about to happen. But I had one of those movie montages where I was just looking at myself and being like, we gotta go shopping. This ain't it. Lee, I went on Trip NYC. I wear all the pants. I went on Trip NYC. I was just like, the one thing I told myself, I'm gonna put myself out there. So I was just like, I wanted to wear all the stuff that my inner child wanted to wear, but couldn't wear at that time. So I went out, got myself a choker. I threw away all my clothes that I got from Forever 20. I didn't throw it away, but sent them donations. Players calls it Winter Punch Out, whatever you want to call it. But I sent those away. I was just like, this feels like me. This is who I am. And my friend Isabel, she looked at me. She's like, that's my bestie. Now that's who you are. Because beforehand, you can tell in pictures and like on Instagram and everything, like, I am not comfortable. I am not I look like I got tased. Like, I am not comfortable. So when I changed my whole style, it's just like the style changed, but also the confidence kind of came along with it. Because once my style changed, I was just like, you can't tell me anything. I know I am the SHIT. Like, I know I am it. So when that happened, like, the volume 2 kind of came along with it. I also did a mic performance for Cincy Playlist, A Million Magazine. I want to thank you because y'all are kind of, they're the people that when I did my first mic performance for them, they just like, no, give us more, give us facial expressions, tell us a story with your like facial expressions and everything. So when I did that, that kind of like opened the door of me like actually being more of a performer and actually putting facial expressions, actually having a stage presence, and actually like doing things on stage like, back bending and coming out with a straight jacket and everything. Oh yes, Raivon has come out with a straight jacket. And, oh yes, Hannibal Lecter, all that. But I really kind of grew into wanting to put that, theatrical spin on everything. Because I always come with this philosophy. You could be doing your 7th, 6th, 10th, 20th show, but you always going to have that one person that's going to be seeing you for their first time. So I always want to get that impression of like, oh, this is what it's going to be like every single time you see me perform. Like, you're going to get a show. I'm never going to leave you feeling empty-handed. If anything, I'm gonna go above and beyond. Like, I had moments like I would literally jump off the stage. I had moments like I'm getting your face. We're rapping to each other at this point. Like, I had moments I come up and sing some like tall dude that's the height of an NBA player. I'm just like rapping like this, like, yeah, we're rapping to each other. We're here. You enjoyed the show? Okay. Like, I become unapologetic when I perform. So I can't say my style has become kind of essential to that because it's like you don't see like we're in the 5-3. I'm gonna keep it all the way up, but you don't see many like alternative, black alternatives that look like me walking around the grocery store with their chokers. Yes, I be up there in the grocery store with this on, like putting the milk in the cart, like yes, that's me.
Yeah, put the milk in the
cart.
Like
that's me. I'm the type of person I like to dress like anywhere. Like, I don't care where I'm going. You can tell me like, yeah, just went to the gas station, get something. Like, okay, put on the whole outfit and everything. Like, cause you never know who you might see out. So I'm just like, I'm gonna dress like I'm going to the Met Gala. I don't care. I'm gonna dress down. So my style has like become super important to me, and it's become fun to me. I love putting outfits together, even if it's a lazy outfit. I love putting it together, and yeah.
So when your style changed, is that when your kind of music took an involvement as well on that front end?
It kind of went hand in hand because when I was changing my style up, I kind of went back to my roots kind of start because I was listening to a lot of metal growing up, and I want to thank because any kid who was playing wrestling games back then, WWE, the SmackDown vs. Raw series,
yeah,
I got introduced to metal through that. So I was listening to 9.7 Does Slipknot a little bit, like, love me some Slipknot, but I was listening to all of them, like, growing up, so I was just like, sometimes I would listen in secret, because I'm just like, let me turn this down, because I know my parents, they look like, what's this stuff in our house? What is this? Like, what are you listening to in this house? But, I got introduced to that during, like, that whole era, and like, they don't do it like that no more, like, the wrestling games don't do it like that no more. Like, I like me a little metal, especially like hard metal when they scream in your face. Like, I like that. Like, you'll see me in the gym. Like, if I'm working out, you probably look like he's listening to Nicki Minaj. Let alone it's just like Slipknot, somebody screaming in my ear. I'm just like, I hate this, but you know, like literally, because and it doesn't make it any better because I have RBF. Like, so you think I'm mad 24/7, but it's just like I could be having the best day of my life, but my face is like this. Yeah. So when it comes to that, I will say that like my style and my music kind of went in hand and kind of have like a Pokemon evolution kind of moment.
Oh, well said on that.
Right.
That's relatable. So are you looking into getting into more performances, or are you working on your like a track now or album now?
So I have recently dropped my EP Wanna Play Volume 3 that released last month. I am currently doing another show September 1st with Tap Entertainment, Third Eye Records, and Feeling Good Podcast. It's the I Am Tapped and it's the I Am Tapped and Sedated Artist Showcase at the Mopby. You're gonna have me. You're gonna have a whole bunch of your Cincinnati faves. I'm also doing visuals. I'm getting close to doing a visual out of town that I really want to do. Like the treatment alone, for these visuals that I'm coming, it's gonna make you throw your shoe. And when I always say, if I'm gonna throw my shoe, it's a good thing. Like, that outfit's so good, you gonna make me throw my shoe. But these visuals I'm coming up with, it's gonna be something that really forces a lot of people to like put eyes on me, because I always tell people like sometimes I feel underrated, but I know that it's gonna be all worth it in the long run, because you're gonna have that one person gonna be like, y'all knew I was listening to him at Volume 2. I was listening to him at KOTM, but you know, it's gonna work out. But I can't say I have a lot of stuff in the works that I can't wait for the world to see.
KOTM, sorry to cut you off. KOTM is like, it hits. It hits. And I'm excited. Hopefully we could swing by that show, and shout out Feeling Good Podcast as well.
Like
Looking forward to work with you guys.
Yeah, for sure.
I didn't know KOTM was gonna be that. To be honest, I did not know that was gonna be the popular one off the EP.
It hits.
Like, I thought like at least it was gonna be Ruthless Aggression or one of those. But when I released that one, a lot of people kind of gravitated towards, and I was just like, y'all like this one? I didn't know y'all like this one because it has like such a slow start, and then it hits. And that's the one that I say I'm gonna always come back around to do a visual for, but that's gonna be a special one, because that one is like, you know, I don't want kids. It's not for me. All the parents out there, good luck to you. I tell my brothers I'm gonna be the best uncle ever. But you know, as artists, I feel like, you know, our songs are kind of for kids, because we created it, we put it out there for the world to receive it and to criticize it, whether you like it, hate it, or indifferent. But KOTM is like my favorite child out of the bunch. Like, it goes, KOTM is like my favorite. Final Boss has become that child, you know, that has anger management issues. But I feel like a lot of times, a lot of people have told, like, I've done interviews before where somebody told me like, well, artists didn't even remember the name of that song. I'm looking like, I remember the name. I remember where I was that day. I remember what I ate that day. I remember how I felt that day. Like, I remember everything from each and every song that I've done and recorded. Like, all that feeling, it's always a memory. Especially when it came to KOTM, because I was pissed that day. I was pissed. Like, I'm telling you, my package didn't come. Like, my package didn't come. I had Starbucks that day. It spilled on the ground. Like, it was bad. Like, I went to the studio. I told Chris, I was just like, let's just record this. Let's just record.
Hit that record.
Like, literally. And I was just like, pissed at time, but it was good. It was a good pissed off. It was a good pissed off because it needed to happen. But the second, I can't say on the second verse of KOTM, when it comes to Kill It All coming in, that was the first time I was just like, some told me it's just like, just try it. Just try it. So we tried it, and I didn't know that part was just gonna be like, that's the part. That's the part. So every time I performed it, I have a thing where it's just like I do a cutthroat thing, and I kind of fall down, and it's just like I come back as Killer Don, and I always do that part. So that the KOTM has really become synonymous with my performance.
So on reference to Killer Dog, like, does the whole outfit change when that personality comes on, or
I wish it could do that performance like I have a Sailor Moon moment. But I kind of created a costume, like his whole attire when it came to Killer Doll. So I have like a battle vest with my little tank goggles and his red eye on the right. And fun fact, it was supposed to be 2 red eyes, but for the photo shoot, my left eye was like, we're not doing this right now. You're just gonna go with the right. And my photographer, Roman Maya, who is a dope photographer, like he does great cinematography, like cinema type of photography. I've been working with him forever. But he was just like, no, that works because you got you on this side and you have Killer Doll on that side.
Yep.
So when we was doing it, I had Killer Doll always has a bazooka, so I created my own bazooka. I want to thank my brothers for this because they're the ones that they do all that, like creating and building stuff. And I was just like, so how do you build a homemade bazooka? So I went to like Walmart. I was whipping one that entire day for that photo shoot. I went to Walmart. I got me some Nerf guns. I cut the handles off. I got me a 10x4 from Home Depot. Then I painted it black and I put a little aim sight on it for my Call of Duty players on there. Y'all know what I'm talking about with the aim sight.
With the scope on there.
Yeah, with the scope. So I painted that. I put that on there. I created my own little battle vest I got from Amazon. Then I put Killer Doll on the back. Want to play Volume 3, and I knew that from that start I was just like, he has been created. There we go. And a lot of people have told me, like, we never seen somebody do that. Like, I was surprised that no one, like, thought of that. Like, to do it, like, that extra. Like, put all of that work into it. Because when I play Volume 3, like, I wanted to put him on full display. Because I wanted to put, like, a face to the name.
Yeah.
You know?
Choose your player.
Right. And, like, when I play Volume 3, it's very video game inspired. From everything, because I'm a game head, so I like comic books, I like anime, and I like video games, and I want to combine that. So when I can't say the main one that kind of signifies that is Final Boss, because there's a line in there that when I was writing it, I had to put the pencil down like this. I was just like, you did that, because the line goes, I don't see no competition, all I see is NPCs. I'm that DLC, I'll make you pay if you play with me. So I wanted to put that on that display because I'm just like, I know my stuff when it comes to video games and comic books. And I know a lot of people, when they hear that, it's just like, that.
He's talking to me.
Right. Because I knew that when it comes to Volume 3, I wanted the audience to, like, get to know me a little bit more. So this was, like, me really being vulnerable. Like, I feel like this has been the most vulnerable I've been on a project in a long time. Because it's just, like, I know who I am as an artist. So it's just, like, I could relay that vulnerability without feeling like, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. And it's just, like, I feel so unapologetic when I was doing it at that moment. So when it come to a lot of songs on the EP, when it come to rolling out, me speaking on, you know, depression and thoughts of suicide, how to overcome that, and knowing that you can overcome that and you could be stronger than ever. When it comes to innocent destruction, you know, signify how when it comes to me, it's just like you get one thing, but when I start going, it's just like it always surprises people.
Yeah. Is there ever a time where it's just like Killer Dawn and can't switch
hone in on that?
I can't say. Sometimes it can be. Sometimes it can be. Like if I'm doing business, sometimes I kind of will tap into that because when I first started, I had the tendency of like to be like, well, maybe I shouldn't rock the boat. Maybe I shouldn't ask for this. Maybe I shouldn't do that. But now it's just like I'm so in tune with kind of my alter ego. It's just like a lot of business dealings. Like, no, if you want to do a feature me, you have to pay me. If you want me to do this, you have to meet my demands. You have to
Yeah.
know where I stand. So I feel like when I've introduced that, I've really kind of owned my boundaries, and I really own like, no, I am an artist, but at the same time, this is a business. A lot of people, I feel like as artists, yes, this is fun and we love what we do, but there's a business aspect that comes to it, and you have to respect that. Cause I know where I know what I could bring to the table. So I know that me asking for what I'm asking for is never too much, especially if you want to work with me. If you come to me saying you want to feature in me, you have to make sure that I'm not doing a feature for free. Because at the end of the day, I know I'm gonna promote that. I'm gonna promote it. If we're doing a video, I'm gonna put that everywhere as far as wide as I can.
What's the budget?
Yeah. What's the
Right,
budget on that?
right. There's like there's an artist. There's the thing that comes to it, because I feel like as artists, sometimes we could get duped by that, because it's just like we don't want to seem like we're being like stuck up or being snobby because we're asking like, what's the budget, what's the treatment, what's the wardrobe, what day are we doing this, how are we doing this? Like I like to ask all those questions, because it's not just me and another artist. At the end of the day, this falls on both of us. Like
Right.
when it comes to anything that I do feature wise, or even if I'm just working with somebody on, media or anything, I have to know what are we doing, what are the guidelines, what are the basics, how is this being done, and how would this benefit both parties. I'm that type of artist. I like to ask that, and I feel like the kind of edge I got to it is because of my look, because the way I dress, the way how I am. A lot of people probably don't think like, dang, he thinks that far ahead. Because I study this. I love to study music business when it comes to um record labels and contracts. I got myself into the mode of reading contracts, of reading the fine print between anything, especially if I'm buying a beat from a producer and I want to read everything, like how much is this exclusive, how much do you get, and how much do I get. I like to read all of that. And I feel like a lot of artists, sometimes when they sign a deal, whether that be a record deal, whether that be a promotional or distribution, a lot of them will probably get money in their face and probably not want to like
Read
read
the
that.
fine print.
Right. And it's just like, I like to read the fine print, because I'm a very big component. I'm a very big advocate for owning your masters. Owning your masters is essential in the music business. It's like musical real estate. And I want to say this. I know she may be a pretty face, but that girl is smart. Miss Ice Spice, she has 100%. The girl has 100% ownership of her masters. You know how like that is game change, that own 100% of your masters, knowing that no one can get a piece of your pie. Like all that royalties, all that revenue is coming back to you, whether that be placing movies, commercials, ads, all that's coming to you. And like your record labels aren't basically making music like money off your back. And I feel like if I ever sign to a record label, because I'm, you may call me the bougiest person in the world when it comes to that. But if I'm going to these meetings with these big heads, I want to know what is being taken from me. I want to know what can I own or what can you own. If it's a 50-50 deal, okay. But if I could get it to a point where I can own 100% of my masters and not down the line have to fight to get ownership of my music back, that would be perfect. Because I know that my music is essential to me. It's something that's very precious to me, and I just don't want to sell that off to anybody
Yeah.
just for a lump sum of money. You
I
know?
mean, you're putting in the work. You should reap the benefits 100%, especially if
Right.
you're doing all the back end stuff, finding the labels and reading the contracts like you should. And I think a lot of the artists out there, they get duped in some sense, respectfully with, hey, here's a large sum of cash. Here you go. And they take it and run with it.
Yeah, I think that's the greed in it, though.
Yeah.
Because you do have to know those things. You do have to read between and know that fine print, so you won't just sign anything looking at a bag. That's what most artists do. They chasing the bag, or they're chasing the fame, not in reference to the longevity of it,
Right.
but right now,
Yeah.
and not knowing that it's that next person waiting to be that person, you know.
See, I like loan money. I don't like quick money. And I like loan money because I know that if I could get my music to the point where it's just like I'm making a steady income from it, like over years, and knowing that it's safe and I could still do other projects, other things outside of it, but still add on to my brand, I feel like that'd be even more
Yeah.
like essential. And I think that's something a lot of artists should look into. Like, sure, you are an artist first, but at the same time, businessman or businesswoman or just business person in general second, because you should always look at, okay, my music is what got me here. But moves outside of my music is what can keep me here. And that's why I
Well
respect
said.
right. And that's why I respect a lot about artists turn moguls or artists turn big like business entrepreneurs. Like you have people like Rihanna with her whole Fenty line, the Fenty skincare, which is good skincare. But you have people like Jay-Z, you have people like Drake, you have people like Nicki, you have people like even Beyonce with who can branch out and do clothing lines and skincare, who can branch out and create their own labels or manage their own artists because they know that their property, their artistry, their craft, and their music that they created is safe, and they're not having to tour, up in every single month of the year just to make their money back. Like, and that's what I feel like a lot of artists are sometimes forced to do. Like they're forced to do these long tours to like make their money back because whether their record labels took money from their budget for
Or
music
give them a
video.
loan of some sort.
Right. And it's just like a lot of artists have to realize this. That money is not ours. That is not ours. That is a loan. It's like if you go to college and that like your university gives you that money for your books. That money is basically them saying like, okay, so this is basically for your music video. This is for your wardrobe. This is for basically you as an
2
artist.
albums to do.
Right.
You got to hit these numbers,
Mm-hmm.
and now you're working for them versus working for yourself.
Right. And it's just like, and then you'll have artists that get in a predicament and then they start to fall out of love with music at that point because it's just like, it's not what they picture or envision because they, a lot of artists, when we have big dreams of being artists or being up there with, the heavy hitters, we have like, growing up, it's just like, well, if I get famous, I make it big, I have a bunch of money, I don't have to worry about my problems. But once you dig deep and you peel the veil back and you look deep into the business of how everything is so intertwined and how you have to look at your royalties, how you have to look at your masters and what you get from brand deals and sponsorships and songwriting credits. And a lot of people have to look into that because it's something that goes real deep. This music business is something that if you really love this, you have to be willing to do that work that people aren't willing to do and to look into what you're actually getting yourself into. Because this is fun. I will not cap on that. It is fun to do. I love performing. I love rapping. I love what I do. But there's also another thing that I love to do, and I love to research. Like I'm a gentleman that loves to study, but I love to look into that. Like there'll be times like I'll be in the club with my friends, and they have to take my phone because I'll be looking up like, so dang, that's how much I get if I do this. That's how much my trademarks
Just
are.
working.
Right, like every time, like people be like my mother be looking at me, it's just like, put the phone down, put the phone down. Go touch some grass. Like,
Go touch some grass.
Yo,
like I be so in tune with what I'm doing and the music alone that it's just like, dang, I have to let me put that back. Let me put on do not disturb. Because sometimes you'll get so in tune that it becomes obsessive, and you have to have a balance. And that's what I've like kind of come to, like that balance of like research, music, and life in general, because I be so in tune with like just promoting and performing and everything that sometimes I forget like, no, you have to live life a little bit.
Live a little bit.
Right.
For sure.
I don't think you can never have too much education in reference to anything that you're doing. Like knowledge is power when you're trying to do anything. I don't care, just from tying your shoe. I mean, how many different ways can I make this now? How many different ways can I put this shoe string in my shoe to make it look different? So just something as simple as that, like just doing your studies. And just for everybody who didn't know, now you do know Mr. Don'tez is not going for anything. It's not just about the bag.
No.
Come correct.
Like, I feel like, how can I put this? I would love to come into a boardroom, and I know it's going to happen soon. I'm going to come in there dressed the way I do because I want to get off the impression like, oh, he does not know what we're talking about. He does not know what's in these fine prints.
Try to take advantage of me.
Right. Let alone it's just like, oh, I know everything.
Yeah.
Trump card. I know everything.
Trump
like,
card.
I'm just like one of y'all. It's just like, I dress different. That's the only thing. It's just, I know a lot. And I like to be that person. Like, how can I put this? I've become the artist that a lot of artists kind of come to with like questions, and it's been so weird. Like, it's been so weird because starting out, I was never like that artist people went to, like to ask like, so how do you do that? And how do you create that? And how do you be doing this? Because I've been giving a lot of artists jewels, and I've been so blessed to meet a lot of talented artists that be wanting to know like a lot more. And we have this discourse and we have these conversations. And I've been able to meet so many talented artists who have, put me on to like a lot of like business transactions and how to do this with your brand and how to get these opportunities. And there are some artists I want to shout out to that. I want to shout out Miss Paige herself, Miss Hottywed. I want to shout out Joe E, because I watched him along the years of like building his brand.
Joe E.
Shout out
like,
Joe.
Basically being a powerhouse in like Cincinnati. Also want to give a shout out to Miss Tiana Dean, Miss Tori Helene, and VI Peach, because she had
shout out Peach.
She been giving a lot of artists opportunities. Like, I know she loving down there in Florida, but I will always thank her for letting me perform at her private party, because that gave me a lot of connections I did not know that it would give me.
She's networking night. For sure.
Right. And seeing her network, I'm just like, dang, let me get on my game, because that's how you do it. Okay. Like, seeing her and how because she is the network queen when it comes. Yeah. Like, I'd be in Tom's house, I'm like, is that her card? What's this doing here? Like, she
sprinkled that everywhere.
Right.
Now, with that being said, though, for the people that don't know, let them know where they can find your work.
So you can find me at Raivon Don'tez 97 on Instagram, Raivon Don'tez on all musical platforms. Same for TikTok. I'm blowing up on TikTok. I'm trying to keep up with the cool kids. Like, I'm trying to keep up with them on TikTok. But you can find me on all that on TikTok, Instagram, both at Raivon Don'tez 97, Facebook Raivon Don'tez. I don't really post much on Facebook, because how can I put that? Facebook, everybody knows Facebook is kind of the parent app, and some of my family's on there, so I'm just like, I may say this on Instagram, but I'm gonna put it on PG mode for you on Facebook. Hi, Mom. But you can find me on all that. I'm everywhere now. I'm pick up a lot of steam. I'm making up a lot of noise lately. I'm ruffling a few feathers because the alternative kid is coming out the gate. And,
hey, sometimes it takes that, man.
Right.
For
so
sure.
A lot of people's getting hip to me, and I'm very happy for it. You can also listen to Wanna Play Volume 3, Like the Games Again, is available on all streaming platforms. It is getting close to 1,000. We're close to 1,000. I want to say at least by the end of this year, beginning of next year, I will hit 500,000 streams on Spotify. I'm going to hit it. I know I am, because I am what? Raivon Don'tez, the Killer Dog Packaging, King of the Mosh Pit. I am it. And I will hit that milestone. Oh,
well said on that. Stay educated out there. And this has been Cincy Local and Live. Randall Pink.
Cincinnati Top.
Raivon Don'tez, Killer Dog Packaging, King of the Mosh Pit, all that good stuff. And I have been here to conversate. It was a good conversation. So, catch me.
Tap in.
If I go tonight, make sure my haters are still talking. Please don't overhear